Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I wanted to make this video just to share my experience. Well, the previous experiences that I've had as a vendor at pop-ups. I'm gonna start from the very beginning. If I'm being honest, I did not want to do pop-ups when I first started. I have two friends that own a small business, and one of them had actually mentioned to me, hey, would you like to, be part of a pop-up? And I told her yes and no, because I didn't really know how it would work with my business, because I sell t-shirts, but I don't actually have inventory here. So the way I work is I just have the blank tees, and when an order comes in, I just make the shirt and then I ship it. So I don't have like t-shirts already made. So I knew that I was gonna have to make t-shirts if I attended pop-up events, but then it's like, which designs do I take? What colors do I pick? What sizes do I take? Like which sizes are actually gonna sell, which sizes are not gonna sell. And so it was that whole, having to figure it out, that I was kind of like, I don't think I want to do pop-ups. But, after talking to her, she kind of convinced me, and I was like, it's possible, I can do it. So then I have a second friend that has also a small business, and she was actually gonna host a pop-up. And she was like, hey, do you want to be a vendor? And I was like, yeah, sure. By then the other one had already convinced me that it's possible. So I was like, yes, I will do it, because it's a good way to get your business out there. It's a good exposure. So I was like, I'll do it. And so I did. I started making the shirts. Oh, that pop-up event was going to be on Mother's Day. So she wanted me to just take women t-shirts, because I also have men t-shirts. So I got the idea of doing like mommy and me bundles. So I ended up doing women tees, and I also ended up doing kid tees. So I had like a bunch of women tees, a bunch of kid tees, and then I also had like the skirts that I sell, and I think the dresses. Yeah, I think I was gonna take the dresses and some hair clips, because I also sell hair clips. Okay, well, I ended up getting my wisdom teeth removed days prior, and I thought that I was gonna be fine by the time of the pop-up. Nope, I was dying. So I ended up not going to the pop-up. I couldn't attend the pop-up, and I was very bummed, because in my mind I was like, wow, like now I have all this inventory that I'm gonna have to sell, but it's gonna be hard to sell it because they're Mother's Day stuff. And literally it was the pop-up event, and the next day was gonna be Mother's Day. So I knew that if I didn't sell the Mother's Day tees at that pop-up event, it was going to be so hard for me to sell them after. But, I couldn't attend it. So I ended up, just being like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe another pop-up event will come, and hopefully they'll sell then. So I ended up booking another pop-up event after that. And same thing, my wisdom teeth, the whole procedure was just a nightmare. And so I ended up not attending that pop-up either. So at that point I was like, oh, like I've already lost money. Or when you're a vendor at a pop-up, they charge you a vendor fee. And so the first pop-up event, I got charged $25. The second pop-up event, I got charged $10. So that's already $35 that go down the drain, because it's a non-refundable deposit if you don't attend. Actually, it's non-refundable from the get-go. Like once you sign up, you can't get that money back if you say, hey, I'm not going. So I already lost $35 at that point. So I was like, should I even book another event? Because like, what if I don't attend that one? But I still ended up booking the other event, because that one, I want to say it was $15. So I was like, okay, that's not too bad. And I was like, I better attend that event. And so I ended up going to that pop-up, and it was at someone's house. So it was a bit weird, and I think it was like 10 or 12 vendors. So it was a good amount. I was excited. I was ready to sell. And I had watched videos like these prior to me attending this pop-up, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna come back with zero inventory. All my items are gonna be sold. I'm gonna come back with cash. I'll be rich. I will, the whole 9 yards. And no one really showed up. That was already Memorial Day weekend. And so no one's already like home, everybody's out of town. So no one showed up. I made one sale, and that was from a friend. and she had actually seen my Instagram post because I posted that I was there, you know, trying to encourage people to come. And I started posting what I already had, like what I had there. And so she saw a shirt that she liked and she was like, oh, you know, I want to get that shirt. I think it was a Father's Day shirt because, you know, Father's Day was coming up. So she ended up buying that shirt. She actually went to the pop-up event to pick up the shirt. And when she was already there, she ended up buying like 2 or 3 more kid shirts, and then she ended up placing an order for another shirt because I didn't have the size there, but I had it at home. So yeah, that was the only sale that I made. I want to say it was only like a $30 sale, so 30 minus 15, that's $15. So I mean, I guess, you know, at least I made my money back and those $15. Okay, so that was the 3rd pop-up event that I had booked. And so then I decided to do another one. So I went to that pop-up and I literally only sold 1 shirt. I only sold 1 shirt. And it was a Father's Day shirt because Father's Day was coming up. I lost money. Actually, I lost money at that pop-up event because the fee was $15. Those shirts, I sell them for $17.99, the Father's Day shirts. $17.99. So I made my money back. They were doing raffles, they were doing prizes, and all of those items were coming from us. They were coming from the vendors. So we had to put an item in, like we had to give him an item. And so I literally lost money because I ended up doing a shirt. So I ended up losing money at that pop-up event. So then after that, I was like, okay, by then I had already booked another pop-up event, but I told myself, okay, if I keep losing money or if I don't make any money, I'm just not gonna come to these because what's the point of doing them if I'm not making money? Like the point is to sell and all of that. And that pop-up event was $50. And in my mind, I thought, okay, if they're charging me $50, then that means that they're expecting a lot of people to come. But you know, it did seem like a lot, like it did seem like a big event. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do it. It was at the Marriott Hotel. And so then I paid through Venmo. And after that, I didn't hear from them. I didn't hear anything from them. So I thought, oh, okay. So it was the night before the event and I still hadn't heard nothing. You know, I didn't know at what time I was gonna show up the next day. I didn't know nothing. So I thought, I hope I didn't get scammed. Like, I hope I didn't get scammed. So I called the Marriott Hotel and I asked them like, hey, do you guys have a event going on tomorrow? You know, and I said the name of the people that were hosting it, and they were like, yeah, we do. And so then I was like, oh, okay, you know, thank God. Then I was like, okay, you know, it's not a scam. This event is happening. So I thought, let me just wait, you know, to see what happens. Well, it was already 10 o'clock at night and I still hadn't heard anything. Now I have a friend who was also gonna be at that pop-up event. So I messaged her and I asked her like, hey, have you heard anything about tomorrow? Like at what time are we supposed to show up? And she was like, oh, did you not get added to the group? Like, I think it was like Group Me. And I was like, no. And she was like, oh, well, she was like, hold on. Like everyone's asking, you know, for the times and stuff and they're just posting them. So she's like, I'm gonna look for your name and I'll send you the screenshot. She's like, but you should still ask them to add you. And I was like, yeah, you know, for sure. So I messaged them and I was very polite and I was like, hey, you know, like I didn't get added into the group chat, you know, can you guys add me? And I already paid and everything. But they added me hours later, but she had already like sent me at what time I was supposed to be there. So I was like, okay, you know, as long as I know what time I'm supposed to be there, you know, I don't care about nothing else. And so yeah, by the morning I had been added to the group chat and I was able to see the messages, like the previous messages, and like people were upset because they had taken so long to like say anything about the event. And so we get there and I mean, people are like, you know, everyone's like running up and down. So we go, this lady tells us where we're supposed to be. So I go, you know, I start setting up my booth. I want to say 30 minutes before like the pop-up event was supposed to start, they have a meeting with us and they're like telling us, you know, kind of like the rules and stuff. But they started off by saying like some people were extremely rude with, you know, the group chat. She had mentioned that somebody had like cussed them out. out. And I was like, oh, whoa, like in my mind, I'm like, that's a bit excessive. Like, I understand that, we want to know, but cussing them out, like, that's a bit excessive. And so, but she was saying like, yeah, she was like, somebody had to cuss us out. She's like, you guys have to keep in mind that we're mothers, we're grandmothers, like we work full time and we have our business. And I don't know what else she said. You can feel like the energy in the room, like people were already mad. Like you can tell, like people like coming in, people were already like, okay, I just want to do this. I just want to get this over with and I want to go home. So when she started saying that, when she started talking about how you guys need to keep in mind and this and this and this, like people were kind of like you can just tell, like, you can just feel like the energy in the room. We ended up, they finished the meeting, we went back, the event started. The first hour was dry, like no one showed up the first hour. And then people started to come in, but I mean, it was like a little bit of people, were showing up, and they kept telling us like, go live, like post. And I was posting and everything. But I mean, you as a small business can only do so much because, you just have like your followers are like your only audience, I feel like, especially when it's a local event. You can't really do much. I made my money back, but then I also had to give them a t-shirt because they also had like the raffles and the prizes and all of that. So technically I didn't profit from that event. Then they sent us a text and they told us like, oh, don't be upset if you're not selling because you're just sitting there. Like, get up and network, like get up and like talk to people. But it's like, who are we supposed to talk to? Like, everybody that was there were already business owners. So it's like, who are we supposed to talk to? Like, there was no customers for us to talk to. I thought it was funny. Like, I just ignored the message. By then, you can tell people were like fed up. Like, people were just upset. So 30 minutes before the event was actually supposed to end, people were already leaving. And they had told us like, make sure you like don't leave until 30 minutes before the event. You can like start packing up. No, like people were leaving like an hour before. Yeah, by the time it was 30 minutes, I told my mom, I was like, you know what, we should go, because there was no one there. Like, there was no one. So I was like, we should go. And I felt weird already. I was like, there's just no point. Like, there's just no point for us to be here. Fast forward to last month, one of our churches mentioned that they were gonna have a barbecue competition. And I was looking at the flyer and I saw vendors, or they were, doing the whole vendor booth. And I was like, oh, like, I'm definitely gonna do it because one, it's definitely my environment, and the fee was $50. And so I was a bit like, oh, like hopefully, I made my money back. But I had a feeling that I was, because this wasn't the first, this was the first event that they were doing where they had vendor booths. But this wasn't like the first event that they were having. They had like a car show during the summer, and a lot of people showed up. So I knew they could pull people at their events. So in my mind, I was like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna be any different. So that's why I booked it. And then they were like, they did it 2 months in advance, and the whole 2 months they were promoting it. Like, they were promoting it, I was promoting it, and everything. So I was excited. So the day finally came. This pop-up event happened this Saturday. Today is Tuesday. So this Saturday I was at that pop-up event. Well, let me tell you guys, it was the best pop-up event that I've ever attended. Last Wednesday, he sent me a message telling me at what time I had to show up on Saturday. It was just the best experience. The communication was the best. When we got there, everything was so organized. Like, everything was just amazing. I made my money back. I made my money back and some. Like, I'm not gonna say how much I made, but I sold a lot. I will say that I sold a lot. I thank God. I really thank God. That's my experience that I've had with pop-up events. Obviously everyone's experience is different. I hope you guys have a good day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you guys like these kind of videos, let me know. I'm also thinking of doing another video where I let you guys know what you can take to a pop-up event. So stay tuned for that video. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and till next time.